Look at that. Nice and golden brown. Ooh, it's hot. Ooh, it's hot. I will link the recipe down below, and I tell you guys, you are gonna wanna try the old school recipes. If you get to a garage sale, pick you up an old school cookbook, because these taste like grandma's dinner rolls. I'm telling you what. Well, good morning, friends, and welcome back to the Hobby Homestead. I tell you what, it's been a long couple days getting ready for Thanksgiving, but it's gonna be well worth it in the end. Today, we're gonna make yeast rolls out of this lovely book I bought from a yard sale, I wanna say last year, for $1. And these yeast rolls, the recipe is from 1963. We tried them, and these are some of the best yeast rolls that we've ever had compared to what our grandmothers have made. So follow along. I'm gonna get everything set up, everything ready to go, and we'll get going on our journey this morning making yeast rolls for Thanksgiving tomorrow. Alrighty, friends, so in my KitchenAid, I have 2 cups of lukewarm water. To that, I want to add 1 package of yeast. So I keep my yeast in the freezer just to keep it fresh, and this is new yeast, because if you watch the Texas Roadhouse rolls, it was a bust because my yeast must have been really old, and it did bloom, but it didn't bloom, I guess I would say, enough, because my stuff was really flat. So I'm gonna add 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast. To my lukewarm water. And the lukewarm water in this recipe, it says lukewarm water like you would give a baby a bath. So that's what we did. We didn't heat it up to 110. We just filled it with our wrist like we would giving a baby a bath. So we're gonna go ahead and let this have a nice little mix real quick. And then to this, we need 1 cup of sugar, or an alternative, we're gonna use stevia. Alrighty, so I'm using 1 cup of Great Value stevia. You can use sugar. The recipe calls for sugar, but I'm using stevia just because we like the alternative. And I'm gonna go ahead and give that a nice mix. And then I'm gonna cover this with a towel, and I'm gonna let this sit on my counter for 10 minutes and let my yeast get nice and bubbly, or as people say, activated or bloomed. So we will be back in 10 minutes. Alrighty, friends, so our yeast is bloomed. I added 1 heaping tablespoon of salt. I got my cart in front of the horse and threw it in before I hit the record button. I'm sorry. But to that, I have a 1/2 cup of oil, Crisco. So it calls for oil, so I'm using Crisco, just the regular plain Jane, not the butter flavored, just regular Crisco, 1/2 cup. And I'm just dumping it down the side. And then to my Crisco mixture, I want to add 1 egg. And then we're going to go ahead and let this get nice and mixed. Make sure all the ingredients get nice and incorporated. So this recipe calls for 7 cups of flour, but to hold back 1 cup. So we're going to start out with 6 cups of flour and see if we'll even need that 7th cup. Because if we don't need it, I'm not putting it in, because I don't want my rolls to be too dense. So I'm turning this on low, and I'm going to add in 1 cup at a time. So I'm gonna let these 3 cups mix up, and then I'm gonna go ahead and add another 3 cups. So we got 6 cups of flour in here, and I'm thinking I'm not gonna need that 7th cup. I made these the other day, and I only put 6 cups in it that need the 7th cup. These will be so nice and fluffy. But these old recipes and these old recipe books that you can find at garage sales, you should get a hold of some of them, because a lot of these recipes that a lot of people say I wish my grandma was still here to make, I bet you could find in these. Like this lady that I got this from has recipes on the back of pages that either she come up with or that she got from friends. But I was like, I want to try some of these. So I think it'll be an awesome thing, you know, if you find something, get it. I always look for old recipe books because I would love to bring back the old way of doing things. And I want to have that for my kids, my grandkids one day when I have grandkids. My kids are young right now. But yeah. So we'll let these knead for 8 to 10 minutes. And it is turning out nice so far. My dough has nicely pulled away from the bowl. They got about another minute or so to knead. And after they're finished kneading, I'm gonna put them in my oven with the light on. No heat, just the light, because the light gives off enough heat. I'm gonna cover it with some plastic wrap, and I'm gonna let these rise until they double in size. So I'm actually gonna transfer my dough bowls, because while those are rising, I'm gonna start working on some pumpkin cinnamon rolls for tomorrow for the kiddos as well. So I'm gonna need my KitchenAid. But the pumpkin cinnamon rolls is gonna be a whole nother video. So it's a beautiful dough. So go ahead and get it in here. It's just a little bit sticky, but I don't want to add too much flour. I don't want to go off the recipe. I don't want to mess with the recipe. So we're going to go ahead and get this covered and put in the oven to rise until it doubles. Alrighty friends, so we're going to go ahead and get this beautiful dough put in the oven. I do have my light on because that's the only heat I want. We're going to go ahead and let that rise until it's doubled in size. So when it doubles in size, we will be back to get our dough balls rolled out. Then we'll let them rise again, and then we'll get them baked. Okay, so now that our lovely dinner rolls have been rising, we'll get them on out of the oven. They really poof because it was stuck to the top. It's like more than doubled. Peel this plastic off here. And then the recipe says you're supposed to get 24 to 30 dinner rolls. So we shall see how many I get. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take about a golf ball size of dough. I'm just going to roll it in a ball. So we're going to continue to get these on, and we will be right back. Okay, so we end up getting 28 dinner rolls. We got 6 in this pan. And then we got 22 in this pan. So we're going to go ahead and put them in the oven and let them rise until they're doubled in size. Alrighty friends, so it's been about 40 minutes and they've doubled in size. So I'm going to go ahead and get my oven preheated to 350 degrees And then we're gonna go ahead and get these in and baked. It's 2:20 in the afternoon. Don't mind the kitchen though. It's a work in progress today. We are getting ready for Thanksgiving, which is tomorrow. So I have a lot of cooking going on in my kitchen, a lot of prep going on, which there will be multiple videos of different things coming out. So as soon as the dinner rolls are close to done, we'll pull them out, we'll put butter on them, we'll put them back in to make them nice and golden brown, and then we will show you guys what they look like. Alrighty guys, so let's check our dinner rolls. I know the bottom rack's not done because I was trying to finish up my Cheez-Its. I had just put those in. But the top rack is done. Look how beautiful those are. And they're supposed to pull apart. Wow. Really nice. Look at that. Nice and golden brown. Ooh, it's hot. Ooh, hot, 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 hot. Playing hot fingers over here. But look how fluffy as I demolish it. That is nice and fluffy. I'm gonna try it while it's hot. Those are delicious. I will link the recipe down below, and I tell you guys, you are gonna wanna try the old school recipes. If you get to a garage sale, pick you up an old school cookbook, because these taste like grandma's dinner rolls. I'm telling you what, my kids are gonna be in heaven come tomorrow. So anyways, we're gonna sit down, get ready to do our devotion, and then I gotta get ready to get our pumpkin cinnamon rolls prepped for tomorrow morning. All right, today's Bible verse is coming out of Chronicles chapter 16, verse 34. And it's coming out of the first Chronicles, not the second. It says, "Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His love endures forever." So with it being Thanksgiving and all, make sure that you give the Lord thanks and praise for all the food that is on your table. Give him thanks for giving you life. Give him thanks for the family and friends that you have around you, friends. So until next time, friends, I thank you for hanging out with me in my kitchen today. I have so much left to do. It is unreal. So I'm going to finish up getting these dinner rolls plated up. Sorry, my little one's throwing a fit. That's part of the autism, that they throw fits every once in a while. So until next time, friends, I thank you so much. Bye.